Welcome back, everyone. Ready to dive right into finding a little more peace, a little more calm in our lives.
Always a welcome journey, isn't it?
Absolutely. And today we're turning to the teachings of Thich Nhat Hanh for some guidance. Those insights he has on mindful breathing, mindful living that really resonate.
Oh, his words just have a way of gently bringing you back to yourself, don't you think?
They really, really do. I've got some excerpts from his writings here, see what speaks to us.
Sounds good to me.
One of the first things that really struck me was how he compares us to water.
Oh, yeah.
We're like water.
That stillness, right? But then, whoa, those waves, too.
Exactly. He says we can be those crashing waves, all that energy, maybe a bit of chaos, or we can be still, just reflecting. And the thing is, it's not about becoming peaceful. It's about remembering that peace is already part of us.
It's like it's built in, right? Just
Right.
like the calmness is already there in the water.
Exactly. And you know how when life gets hectic, you feel that longing for peace? Well, Thich Nhat Hanh, he says that's our true nature calling us back.
Wow.
He talks about how we all crave that calm water feeling, especially when we're stressed, feeling overwhelmed.
We've all been there.
He even calls it being like choppy water. Isn't that perfect?
So true.
But the beauty of this whole water analogy is like he's saying both of those states, they're natural. It's okay.
Right, just part of who we are.
Not broken if we're in the waves, just like water. It's just part of it. It's just learning to come back to that stillness, he says.
It's that coming back, yeah.
And he has this practice, inviting the bell. You ever done that one?
Oh, yeah, definitely. It's amazing how such a simple thing can be so powerful. It's more than just ringing a bell, though, isn't it? It's like this whole, there's a real intention to it.
Like a ceremony almost.
Uh-huh.
So how do you do it inviting the bell?
Well, you approach the bell with this reverence, even bow to it before you touch it.
Wow, I like that. Setting the tone.
It's about making space for something, sacred almost.
Yeah.
You lift it carefully, hold it like it's this precious jewel.
And it's shifting your whole mindset even before you ring it.
Yeah, and the bell, it's like it becomes a symbol, this friend calling you back to yourself, that peaceful place.
I love that image. So it's the sound, but it's also what it represents too.
Right, like coming home to yourself.
Yes.
And there are these two short verses that you use during the practice.
I would love to hear those. How do they fit in?
So as you breathe in, like you're holding the bell, your hand's like a lotus flower, bell's the jewel inside. You say, body, speech, and mind in perfect oneness, I send my heart along with the sound of this bell.
So you're sending your whole self out with that sound.
Exactly. And then breathing out, it's, may all the hearers awaken from forgetfulness and transcend the path of anxiety and sorrow.
Wow. So it's not just for you. It's like you're sharing that peace outward too.
Yeah, it's a really beautiful thought.
And then you ring it.
Then you gently, let the sound just wash over you.
Just creates that space to be present.
And Thich Nhat Hanh, he even talks about having a whole room, a breathing room in your home.
Oh, I love that idea.
Doesn't have to be anything fancy. He's big on simplicity. It's the intention behind it.
Like a sanctuary.
It is.
Exactly.
It
Your
is.
place to
Yeah.
just be.
Especially these days, right? Everything's so hectic, demands, to-do lists.
We need that escape more than ever.
It's more important than ever.
For sure. And it doesn't have to be this big project either. It's not about the perfect room. It's about how you use it, right?
It's the energy you bring to it.
And that mindfulness, it's not just for meditating either. He talks about bringing it into everyday things too.
Oh, absolutely, yeah.
So how do we actually do that? Give us some examples. How can we be more mindful, just in our regular lives? So how do we actually do that? Give us some examples. How can we be more mindful, just in our regular lives?
Well, he talks about mindful walking, mindful eating, even mindful drinking. It's amazing, It's bringing that awareness to those simple acts. How often do you eat and not even taste the food? Thinking of something else, scrolling on your phone.
All the time.
Exactly. But with mindful eating, you engage all your senses. Colors, textures, the smell. Take your time, really savor each bite. Changes the whole experience.
Like hitting the reset button on autopilot, yeah.
Yeah.
Just being present.
Exactly. And it's not about beating yourself up if you, slip up. It's about guiding yourself back like you would a friend.
I like that. So it's like building up that mindfulness all day long, not just when you're meditating.
That's a beautiful way to put it. It's about infusing it into everything, even the little things. And the amazing thing is, Thich Nhat Hanh found these small, consistent things, they actually make a bigger difference than, the big gestures, the once-in-a-while efforts.
It's like that story he tells about the journalist, right? She wants to improve her relationship with her husband.
Oh, yeah.
And he doesn't tell her to, book a romantic trip or buy him presents or anything like that.
Much simpler. but so much more powerful.
He tells her to just be present.
Just be there with him fully. Turn off distractions. Really see him. Listen.
That's so powerful.
Yeah.
Sometimes the biggest changes come from the smallest things.
Yeah.
You know, just being present.
And this whole idea of presence, connection, it goes beyond just us as individuals, too. Thich Nhat Hanh talks a lot about the importance of Sangha.
Right. Remind us what Sangha means again.
Sangha, it's like a supportive community, people on a similar path, growth, understanding.
So you've got this support system for your journey. People who get it can encourage you.
Yeah, and you don't have to follow a certain religion or anything to have that. It's about those good connections, loved ones, friends who lift you up, sharing your practice, knowing you're not alone in it.
I love that, especially when you're feeling lost. It's so comforting to know others have been there too.
We're not alone in this.
Not at all. Well, this has been such a great deep dive. Thich Nhat Hanh's teachings are they're so powerful. Returning to that stillness within, being mindful in everything we do, and finding that support, that Sangha. Thank you all for joining us today. Until next time, may you find those moments of calm in your day, and remember that stillness within you.
Beautifully said.